Thanks for tuning in to the next episode of The Conscious Consumer, part of what I'm doing right now series. And I think I need to get into this. The last few episodes, I've taken the time to talk about the comfortable consumer, comfortable. But I really never explained the conscious consumer. Let's take the quick break, come back, and get right into the conscious, responsible consumer.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
All right. So, what exactly is the conscious consumer? Like I said, there's a lot of articles out there and books written on the idea of being a conscious or an aware or responsible consumer. Um, Here's my definition, and it's not set in stone or anything else. I'm not going to add a lot to it. I can take a lot away from it. The conscious consumer is aware, and they tend to take time when making a purchase. It doesn't matter what that purchase is, there's always a reason for making a purchase. It could be as simple as buying soap or toothpaste. Even those small decisions are kind of brainstormed in a way. That's because the conscious consumer often realizes that one day they may start a business and they're going to want to get the same support that they've given. Now, in a lot of instances, you can give a whole lot of support, but you may never get any support in return, and that's not a problem. You can't worry about that kind of stuff. But the conscious consumer is aware that they may start a business one day and they may have to call on people to support them in the same way. Um, what the conscious consumer also realizes is when a business or a company is family owned or it's smaller, that company has to work twice as hard to find a customer and customer acquisition, and then they have to work three times as hard to retain that customer. So customer acquisition is difficult for a small business, and customer retention is difficult. And the conscious consumer is aware of these things. Now, I think this is the most important aspect. The conscious consumer understands that that penny, that nickel, that dime, that quarter, that dollar, that's their money. And they've earned every right to spend it, not based on hype or marketing, but on value. And sometimes the value is not the price. Um, it's really the service and the understanding that you're doing more with that dollar than just filling your stomach or putting something on your feet. It's really important for the conscious consumer to use that dollar wisely. All right. Um, the conscious and responsible consumer creates probably the strongest aspect of the capital market in the whole world. They make it stronger. They make it stronger and they make it more exciting. All right. They visit the new restaurants that open. They try a new pair of shoes from a company like ours, right? They seek out an independent music artist like Brandon Meeks or a t-shirt company like TS Designs, who takes the cotton from Carolina and makes sustainable t-shirts here in America. Um, the conscious consumer basically realizes that a monopoly is not a good thing unless you're playing the board game. All right. And what's a monopoly? A monopoly is when one company dominates everything. It's you've talked about the Walmart effect before. It's you know what? I'm going a little bit fast there. So let me come back and explain this. The comfortable consumer, the comfortable consumer. All right. Small businesses have to work extremely hard to get the comfortable consumer to at least the halfway point of where the conscious consumer is. All right. You have to try and get the comfortable consumer on a different page. So the importance of educating and explaining to your potential market, if you're a small business person, educating and explaining to your potential market is a necessity. Like I said a couple of episodes ago, you'll have people that say, focus on the people that you already have. Yeah, you have to focus on those people, but you also have to spend a little bit of time trying to educate a new consumer, someone that comes into the market, because everybody's not a conscious consumer and everybody's not aware. You have to get those people on the same page. And it's extremely important that you do that. And while I know it sucks to spend time explaining why a customer should ride with you, it's necessary. All right. Take, for instance, art. I make a running shoe. There are other fantastic brands that are out there making running shoes, right? You have Newton, Astra, Innovate, but most people tend to stick with what they see the most, and that's Nike. Now, I'm not getting ready to do a tirade against Nike, but let's look at something recent, a Nike lawsuit, right? An Olympian, 800-meter runner, hopeful, Boris Berry, right? Look it up. This guy's in the process of being sued by Nike for breach of contract because he signed with New Balance. Now, New Balance was being more supportive. Boris Berrien, the Olympic hopeful, was damn near homeless as a Nike athlete. Now, it's a well-known topic in U.S. track and field that Nike, this multi-billion-dollar company, provides a lot for U.S. track and field, but they don't provide as much as they could. I mean, when you consider what they give to basketball, you make LeBron James a billion-dollar player. If you could only give the U.S. track and field a fraction of that amount, track and field in the United States would be just as powerful as any other major sport, but it's not. And because of that, these athletes, a lot of the times, they train to the point of being broke and homeless to represent their countries and to perform in the sport that they've chosen to participate in. So it's well known that Nike's not putting enough in. Now, this is the thing. You consider that this billion-dollar company was suing a potential Olympic hopeful. And if that doesn't make you think twice about how you spend your money with that company, then if it doesn't give you a pause, it should. You have to be a more thoughtful person. Now, listen to this. Nike also employs a ton of people. What did I just do there? They do some things that are not right, but they also do some things that are fantastic. Being a conscious consumer is never a straightforward issue. It's not simple. But if you're a small business or a new business, you have to be willing to teach and educate your customer. You have to. And this leads us to the next topic. What is the best way not to fail? What's the best way not to fail? If you appreciate the information being shared, then share it, subscribe, and then come back for the next episode where we talk about what you do not to fail. That's it. See you on the other side. Next episode. Peace.